test. If somebody says they figured it out, and they're leaving any room for doubt.
Hey everybody, this is Trolling with Logic with Big Lundi and Kitch 2 at the moment. Unfortunately, Michael Shermer is a little late, so we're having a bit of problems with communication with him right now. Hopefully he'll be here a little bit later on before the hour closes out. Very sorry about this. I know a lot of people were looking forward to Shermer, but hopefully he'll be here. Currently, what we're going to be doing until Shermer gets here is Kitch is going to be talking about current scientific discoveries that have been made, and I'm going to be talking about current philosophical discourse going on at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and let Kitch go first here, and we'll see how this goes. Kitch?
Kitch, unmute.
Yeah.
I'm not used to muting. So, anyway, what I was saying is I just wanted to focus on scientific research, controversial areas such as synthetic biology, nanotechnology, and stuff like artificial wombs, stem cell research, and gene cloning. The reason I wanted to focus on this as a replacement is because I thought it'd be good, it'd be sort of related to what we were discussing with Michael Shermer. I'm sorry if I ramble a little bit. I'm not good on the fly. Just fair warning. But I just wanted to bring up the first thing and discuss synthetic biology. And this is, I just want to get Lundi's opinion on this. What do you think about the philosophical implications of Greg Ventnor's work on creating the first synthetic cell 2 years ago? Lundi, I can't hear you at all.
I'm sorry. I muted my mic too. This is going so great. This is going so great. Murphy's Law for the win. So I'd like to say that I don't think that that's going to have too much of an impact as far as philosophy goes. I mean, to be able to create a synthetic cell, it's great. It has a lot of scientific implications, but as far as philosophy goes, it's just sort of it's not a discovery that proves anything that any sort of philosophy says is not true. Like, I don't think any theists are going to be completely impressed with this. They would probably come up with the counter that, oh yeah, you created a cell, but you didn't cause it to happen completely on its own. You had to like put stuff together. That's an intelligent designer and all that kind of stuff. So it's really it's not as impactful in philosophy as you might think.
Yeah, but one of the key claims I keep hearing from bioethicists and scientific philosophers is that it kind of debunks the idea that life is magical, if you know what I mean.
Not truly, because the thing is, just because you can create a cell doesn't mean that's the only way. Doesn't mean that natural processes are in fact the only way that cells can come about. That's the whole problem. There's always loopholes around these particular things, and it's sort of a limit to science that it can't absolutely prove one thing or another. It can only just give a lot of evidence towards something. Like, yeah, we can synthetically create a cell, but there's nothing that doesn't disprove any of the other stuff about a cell that people already think.
That is true. That it doesn't eliminate the idea, that completely disprove the idea that cells could have arrived to a divine creator. But it does prove that, or at least it suggests heavily that a designer is not needed.
Well,
life shows like life. We understand how life operates, not how life evolved or anything like that. But it's not, like the processes going on in the cell. It's all natural. That's what I mean. It's not. I'm not talking about the origin. I'm talking about what's going on in the cell. How's it working and all that? There's nothing magical about it. It's all natural processes.
Right.
And this
I think
pretty much demonstrates that.
I think what theologists and theistic philosophers might say to that is, yeah, you can see all the natural processes, you can create it naturally, and again, there's the whole thing of you had to create it. Oh, it's an intelligent designer and that bullshit. But a lot of people who think that there's like something magical about the cell thinks that there's something about the cell that you can't observe, that you can't test. They put their claims about the sort of majestic nature of the cell in an unfalsifiable position of you can't see what causes the directions of the chemical processes within a cell. You can just see that chemical processes are happening in a cell. Like some supernatural thing could be guiding it without you knowing it, but you can't really test that. And that's the whole problem.
Yeah, they don't put forward an idea that they can test, that which kind of annoys me. Like, for example, there are many processes going on in the cell where nutrients and metabolites are directed, or proteins are directed through different proteins and through the transport system. For the life of me, I've been just, as I said, I'm not going to fly, so I can't really give examples, although I'd love to at the moment. Mm-hmm. Because I think taps, like, for example, I'm just going to go with my immunology background. When a cell, let's say you have a cell called a macrophage. Macrophage is a cell that when you have a foreign invader, like a bacteria or virus, that macrophage will go to the cell and break it down. And in the cell, it will take those parts and present it on the cell surface to alert other cells that, you're sick. There's a virus, there's a bacteria, get to work. Mm-hmm. Again, I hope this is good, because sometimes I have a problem kind of communicating this kind of biology. But anyway, but all that, although impressive, is still being guided by proteins called the tapsin proteins, which basically allow the protein to enter from in the cell cytosol, basically anything that isn't a mitochondria nucleus. It's the cell environment, mm-hmm. And it guides it to the plasmic reticulum. Now, don't worry about that. It's not really important for you to know. It's just a place in the cell where this assembly happens. And tapsin guides that into the cell, into this. It's like a funnel,
right?
And that's all done by naturalistic processes. And what really annoys me about the religion, I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but if you were to go by the religious kind of, not the fundamentalist religious, the fundamentalist view, if you're to apply that kind of thinking, we would not be able, we would just say God did, that kind of a mentality that God did.
Yeah, I think this is one of the substantive things that kind of errs on the side of naturalism to me, because when you're a naturalist, you can explain all these processes using science, using observation, and all these things. But when you add more to it that's unexplained, it sort of creates an Occam's razor of sorts. Like, why isn't there? Why would you create something that you have no idea about, that you have no testable claims about, and say that that's what's causing all these things that we can already explain? It's sort of like, a long time ago, somebody tried to figure out what the difference between a living and a dead thing is. And he tried to propose this thing called élan vital, vital force. And people asked him, okay, how can you demonstrate that? He's like, I can't demonstrate that. It's just what I'm making up to explain the fact that some people are alive and some people are dead. And to be honest, all that does is add something that we don't know about, that we cannot test, that is unfalsifiable. And to me, if you don't give me something that I can verify, then what is the reason for me to accept it in the first place?
Exactly, and that's one thing that drives science forward. You need to present a claim that you need to test, that you can test. And you can't say, I just know it. That doesn't get us anywhere. In fact, some of the we wouldn't be able to do anything with that kind of knowledge because we just know. Then you can't, if you don't even test it, you can't come up with the applications either. But there's another area in synthetic biology that's also, apart from the theology, is dangerous science. You don't ever get a new breakthrough in science. You will always have people thinking, it's dangerous and stuff like that. And that's really, I think, where a lot of the criticism is coming from on synthetic biology, that you can use it, people will be able to use it to create bad things as well, very dangerous pathogens and stuff like that. But one of my main objections is that, well, we can already do that with recombination DNA technology. We can do that naturally. Bird flu is only a couple of mutations away from passing from people to people, person to person, and that will be, a very, very bad situation. And also, not only that, but I think I heard someone say that terrorists could use it, like Al Qaeda. Yeah, considering the fact that this took, millions of dollars, a huge array of, experts, I don't think Al Qaeda are going to give all that resources and all that. I don't think they can to something that requires so much effort.
The thing about that is, it's sort of like the problem of the atom bomb. We made the atom bomb, but what if some psychopath gets a hold of the atom bomb? What we do is we don't stop discovering things because we've discovered something that's potentially dangerous. What we do is we put in stipulations in order to prevent these things from getting in the hands of people who would abuse them. So I think that's the thing that we need to really need to focus on, and not that we shouldn't make a discovery because of the implications of the discovery.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We need regulations. For example, I can't cause a bacteria to produce an enzyme to break down sugar without having to first report it to the EPA. I have to make sure my lab is okay. I have to show them how I'm going to contain the bacteria. Make sure it doesn't get out of the environment. I have to show everything, disinfectant procedures. I have to get licenses, everything. It's a very, very long, but it's a good safeguard. And that is just for that's just for a bacteria in the lab to break down sugar. And if you're doing something even higher up using, I can't imagine what it's going to be like. It'd be a lot harder.
Yeah. What other scientific discoveries have been made lately, other than Higgs boson and all that? We'll be discussing that later.
As I said, the synthetic biology. Trying to remember now. Just as I said, I'm off the cuff.
Speaking of synthetic biology, what's your opinion on GMO crops?
Well, I have no problem with GMO crops, depending on what you want to produce. It's all at the end of the day what you want to produce. As long as you go through the right safety testing, as long as you approach it right safety testing, you're producing something that's that's going to have a benefit, then I have no problem. Or even if, and that benefit, when I say benefit, let me clarify. The benefit is either for academic purposes or for helping the third world or making life a little easier for people. That's what I mean by benefit. I don't mean benefit as in just feeding the poor or just doing this or just doing a certain outcome. I mean, I want to include academic benefit in there as well. But I'm fine with it as long as it's done right.
Especially because there's a lot of anti-GMO guys out there, and their arguments, for me, whenever I look at them, they tend to focus on whether or not it's biologically sound for the most part, or at least what they do is they open up with sort of this scare tactic of GMO crops just going out, just killing everybody, just poisoning everybody, and making the world a horrible place, and then they try and back it up with science. But every time I look up their sources, it's always like popular blog articles or pop science books or some documentary Okay. I am sorry about that. Apparently, there is a thunderstorm going on outside where I live, and I just lost power for a second.
Okay. Hey guys, sorry. Are we still on? Yeah. Let's see. No, my mic is still on. Can you hear me? Okay. Am I on? Am I on? Am I on the blog TV? Okay. Alright, guys. I'm just waiting for Lundi to get into the call, but sorry, I'm a bit useless on my own. I'll just explain I'll just explain some of the arguments I've come across against GMOs. They're usually pretty. They're bad. They're usually pretty bad. They usually link to other, as one says, other blog articles or science documentaries. They rarely link to scientific articles, peer-reviewed certain scientific articles. And there was one I ever seen, anti-GMO, and it was a very bad article. One, they didn't provide a mechanism. Two, they gave very unfair statistical analysis on their results. It was basically looking at the gene, the Bt toxin, isolated from Bacillus thuringiensis, hence Bt toxin. And the way the toxin works is that insects have an insect's gut is basic. It's a very high pH, as opposed to our own guts, which are acidic, low pH. So that's how we distinguish. That's how we distinguish using the toxin, killing insects instead of people. And how this works. Sorry, I forgot to say how this works. The reason why the pH is important, it's because when you ingest the bacillus toxin, it's in a crystal form. It's all in a it's all lumped together, and it can't actually do any damage to you. When it's in an acidic, not an acidic environment. Sorry, forgive me. A basic environment. All this bacillus toxin will start to dissolve into the gut, and then this will bind to the epithelial cells, the surface of the gut wall, and cause the cells to burst, and you get lesions in the gut, which causes death, basically. Why the bacteria want to produce this toxin? It's quite simple. When these lesions form, the gut pH neutralizes, and this causes the bacterial spores that may have been ingested to come back into life and reproduce. So basically, it's a way for bacteria to produce will have, a lot of nutrients. Anyway, that's my little explanation of that toxin over. What this paper is bullshit, in my opinion, about the mechanism is they don't provide how the bacterial toxin could induce toxicity shown in animal cell culture. They just said, we got the such result, ignoring for the fact they have statistical data. They don't have statistical data. They didn't show why this could work. I still have that paper somewhere around if anyone wants it. I'll just try and find it again. But just remember it. Sorry, again, I'm off the fly, so I don't have anything prepared for it. So, but I will try to bring it up upon request if anyone wants to ask me that through Blog TV or to Skype or to my YouTube channel. But anyway, they did provide a mechanism that really is very suspicious. But if you bring up anything against that paper, it's part of the conspiracy. What's the name of the company? Santos, I think it is. Santos, or the European regulatory body, criticized it. They're just working for GMO tech, which is wrong.
Real quick, I'm going to go ahead and just sort of put a little bit of a break in here because after complications and all of that, we just sort of broke up a little bit here in conversation. I just want to remind everybody to please donate to the cause. Anybody who hasn't donated, please donate a little bit. If you already have donated and you can still spare a couple dollars, that's still also okay. Currently, we're up to $314.24. That's a pretty decent amount so far. Please donate a little bit more. I just want to steer this conversation a little bit into Monsanto, because they tend to be looked at as the evil people who are killing people, and I think that there are claims that their workers are bad, that their working conditions are bad, that they're putting out poisonous products knowingly, but they don't care, and all that kind of stuff. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, in terms of the actual working conditions, I'm not too sure. I don't know anything much about the working conditions in that company. But in terms of producing things that are knowingly toxic, I don't really buy that. First of all, it's not really, if they were discovered, what would be the point of doing such a move? Putting out things that are knowingly toxic.
You
would have to get approval. Obviously, if you have to get approval and provide safety testing by the EPA, and this is very highly regulated in Europe anyway.
Yeah, well, obviously, there's very little reason for this sort of epic conspiracy of Monsanto to just put out products that hurt people. Just, I don't know, because they want to make money is the reason. I don't even understand how that makes any sense. Doesn't it cost a little more money to make GMO things like that? So if they're spending more money genetically modifying crops and then putting out their product when they know that it hurts people, at this point they're not doing it for the money. So they clearly must just be evil bastards. Is the only thing that I can come to.
Yeah, it's evil people. No, I just don't buy it. Again, the company is amoral. It's not moral or immoral. It's out to make money. It's not going to make money by going out and poisoning its clientele, because obviously if you poison your clientele, you're not going to have any clientele left. I could see, when I was saying that, I could see them releasing products that maybe they try to make good, but that hasn't really complied to safety testing, if you know what I mean. But at the end of the day, you still have the EPA there. You're still going to have to regulate it, and you still have scientists out there that are more than willing to do the studies get them peer reviewed and make an A from themselves by saying, "Oh, I took down such and such a company with my research." You know, because I'm not sure if that. I don't think that's the mindset. But I made such a paper that would turn our thinking on such a product. That would be a groundbreaking study. Mm-hmm. But you still have to get it peer reviewed and all that. And a peer review is another conspiracy theory that it should die in a fire. It should be cleansed with fire.
If I can chip in here, I just did a video not too long ago about that whole science is a conspiracy thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a pretty popular conspiracy theory. Let's just put it that way.
It is a popular conspiracy, and it's a popular conspiracy among pretty much everybody who has their own particular idea on how reality should be. There's certainly what the hell is it? There's the creationists, of course, who just think that the anti-vaxxers, of course, the people who think that the moon landing was a hoax. They think that.
Oh no! Don't mention. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Everybody who has a current conception of reality that sees science that runs counter to that reality immediately comes to the conclusion: no, I'm not wrong. Science is just this big conspiracy of people who think they're smart, who think that I'm wrong. I mean, and the same thing happens in philosophy as well. I mean, I just got sent a video a little while ago of some guy who just painted a whole bunch of people who are against a certain philosophical position as just being stupid assholes, despite the fact that they're professional philosophers. They don't really give a shit. You can be professional, you can be intelligent. I don't care because I'm right and you're just a dumbass. And if any of your if I can't find information that confirms me, then you're just. I don't know. It's a conspiracy, and that is just absolutely insane to me.
Yeah, it's a conspiracy is every bit as good an excuse as God did it. It's this ultimate unfalsifiable thing.
Yeah. And speaking of conspiracies, I remember I sent Martymer this video actually about a leak in the CDC in a Center for Disease Control building or Center for Disease Laboratory. He took this one incident where there was a problem with the airflow. It was a negative pressure. Air was blowing out. Just the one thing that I should have mentioned when I was talking about that was that there's a little bit more going on in a biolab to prevent release than just the airflow. So there's a problem with the airflow, therefore they're trying to contaminate people. No, first of all, this particular lab has safety issues and will probably be closed down soon. There's other safeguards involved. One such thing is that everything has to be sterile. Everything has to be any animals infected are incinerated. People wear the biohazard suits. There's obviously I could go on. I don't think people want to an education and lab safety. I barely enjoyed that.
Obviously not. No.
But there's a lot more involved than just negative pressure. They really do try to keep the working people separated from the infection. Another thing is that no one was infected, so it was
And on a completely unrelated note, people donate.
Yes, people please
donate. We're trying to do a charity drive here.
Please donate. Links below in the playground. If you can, please donate. It'd be great.
Always a good thing. Marty, do you have? Since this is going to be a little bit of a preview, could you give a brief rundown over the significance of the Higgs boson particle?
Yeah, sort of. I'm not entirely clear on just how big this is, but I mean, what I do know is that this is something that has been predicted by the standard model of particle physics. It's been, for like 50 years, almost, maybe a little more. It was predicted during the 1960s, I think. And it's basically a missing piece of a puzzle that is almost complete. And here's the problem. If it hadn't been found, that would basically have meant that physics is wrong in a, on a very fundamental level. So it could have really screwed things up, and
I don't know if it would have
things.
I don't know if it would have said that physics is wrong if you hadn't found it, because for a long time they would just sort of find properties of Higgs boson, effects of its existence that they think is there. Really, it would just constantly be a search to find out what Higgs boson is, and if they couldn't find it, it would simply say, well, we need to find out what is causing these things that we thought the Higgs boson was causing.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but the problem is that when you have a model that has predictive power and that model makes a specific prediction, and then you look for that which was predicted and you don't find it, then there's something wrong with the model that led you to make that prediction.
Right.
But I think Peter Higgs will be getting a Nobel Prize. I think that's probably my prediction for the Nobel Prize of Physics.
Possibly.
If I can make a bet.
It could also be that the team that actually made the discovery will get it.
Or it might be shared though.
Yeah. I hope it will be shared between all of them. I certainly think Higgs deserves it, but the people who actually made the discovery they also deserve it.
You can only get 3 people can only share the Nobel Prize at the max.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it's going to be I think it's going to probably be Peter Higgs and maybe the head of the team and maybe another one.
Whoever made the most
independent teams that confirmed each other. So but I don't know.
Kind of a bit of a problem. I don't know. They might make an exception. I don't know. They might make an exception to that. If not, then even the people who represent the groups that get put on the groups, it would probably be the leader of both the groups plus the guy who actually found the thing. It would probably be that, but they would still get the prize and then kind of dedicate it to everybody involved. Would be my guess.
Possible.
So I don't know if that would help the rest of the people on the team, though. I don't think any of them would get sort of an addition to their repertoire of credibility. These guys, I was on this team, and these guys dedicated the Nobel Prize in part to me. So
it's something to put on the resume that my team won a Nobel Prize. Okay, I didn't get it, but hey, it looks good on the resume. I guess that's
certainly.
Yeah. As I say, science is a cutthroat career.
For everybody who tuned in, wanting to see Michael Shermer, I apologize. We only have 15 minutes left. He hasn't gotten back to us, and that is what this was supposed to be about. That's how I tailored my questions. So I apologize if this hour ran a little slow for you guys. Terribly sorry about this mix-up.
Yeah, do we have any idea of what's going on? Was there some scheduling conflict that popped up?
I have no idea. I know that he tweeted not that long ago, during this hour on Twitter, so I don't know if he just completely plumb forgot or what happened. I don't know. It doesn't really matter all that much, but one of the things to bear in mind, though, is that in about a week we're going to have eBay auctions for Atheists Helping the Homeless, and one of the eBay options is going to be Michael Shermer having donated a bunch of his Skeptic magazine books. Well, not books, but the magazines themselves. And if you pay attention to eBay for a little while, you'll see those, and the proceeds for that will go directly to Atheists Helping the Homeless. He was at least kind enough to donate that.
Yeah. And I just have 2 questions I was going to ask to Shermer, but I'm going to open it up to the entire group. What conspiracy theory do you find the most hilarious?
I'll let Marty go. I'll let Marty go first because I know the answer.
Most hilarious or most annoying? Because I've studied a couple of them during my dissecting pseudoscience thing.
Give the most hilarious one first,
okay.
And then one that's.
I think the most hilarious one. It's one that I didn't address. There are these like really stupid ones that just. How can anyone believe that? It's not even appealing. But one of those is like barcodes on products everywhere. You can mathematically find that they somehow all code the number 666, and that proves that Satan rules the world.
That is pretty stupid.
That is pretty hilarious.
What's dumbest about this is that let's say because as we all know, I would do work for the Illuminati, right? I mean, we all know that.
Yeah. You're a level 7 clearance. You're not level 9 though, so you don't know the people who are in charge. So that
no, I was part of planning 9/11 though.
Yeah.
No, but oh shit, where was I going with this? When we come up with these super secret conspiracies, we don't put out little notes on everything in the world. With puzzles.
Yes. That is the most hilarious.
Purpose, and that is to allow idiots to find out that we exist.
That's the only reason. That I don't know. I don't understand. Everyone's just like they're slowly giving us these hints that that's what they're going. Why? Why would somebody who's trying to hide this shit from you put out clues? It's like the Illuminati is the Riddler from Batman.
The New World Order put that thing on the $1 bill. You know, it says like I don't remember what it is, and not being an American, I don't have access to a $1 bill right now. But it says something on the back, like that translates to New World Order, which is a reference to democracy.
I can answer the why do why does Illuminati leave little notes? Clearly, it's run by monkeys, and that proves, without a doubt, evolution.
Yes.
There you go, creationists. I have given you a perfect quote mine. I dare you.
The Illuminati is run by monkeys. That proves evolution, and therefore, what are you gonna do now?
So how do the reptilians fit into it?
Magic.
Well, yes. Well, no. The reptilians had sex with the monkeys, and that created extremely intelligent monkeys who were capable of running the Illuminati. It's so great. And that is what I would call the most hilarious conspiracy theory, is most certainly the reptilians. Because how do you get it into your head that there are shapeshifters among you? That just random people who are shapeshifters, and you'll walk by them in the street, and for some strange reason, these people who have been shapeshifters their whole lives can't keep up their shape. They just can't manage it, and they'll like be in mid shapeshift when you look at them, and then you go, oh no, and like how it just doesn't make any fucking sense. Oh Jesus Christ! And all the people who rule the world, all the people who are in charge of the world, they're all reptilians, or sons and daughters of the reptilians, or employed by the reptilians. How do you do that? I don't understand. David Icke is one of the most insane people I can possibly think of to actually come up with the idea that there are reptiles running the world.
I'm not so sure he's insane. I think he's a fraudster, basically. He knows that there are idiots buying these books.
I think
that's all there's to it.
You think he's just trying to make money?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Because he goes on, Well, no, that would actually confirm it, because that he goes on conspiracy theorist radio shows and stuff. But I think he also does legitimate radio shows as well, where they're just telling him, why do you believe this stuff? And he'll go through his whole thing like, well, if you look, you'll see that if you go back enough generations, all the people who are in charge are in some way related to each other. Like, this person is this person's 11th cousin in some fucking way. But really, when you think about that, that just sort of gives a common ancestry type of thing. I think we can all trace back ancestors to the point where we're all cousins at some point. So, I mean, it takes... What conspiracy theorists do is they take a little bit of evidence of something and then jump to a huge conclusion based off of that.
Yeah, and it's usually very bad evidence. Something that
usually it's extremely vague. It doesn't actually say anything, but they just go ahead and make a huge conclusion based off of it, even if the actual fact of the matter can be much more rationally explained. Like, you don't have to add in spaceships and reptile people and shapeshifters and all that kind of stuff. There's no evidence for any of that. It's just evidence of people being related to each other in some way.
Yeah, and I have never had the misfortune to deal with these kind of people, so it's just a little bit over.
Well, I mean, because if you go on YouTube and you look up Illuminati conspiracy theorist things on YouTube, they get a lot of likes. They get a lot of people saying, yeah, this stuff makes a lot of sense. Hundreds of thousands of views. And everyone in the comment section go, I gotcha. I'm on board.
Yeah, but it does make sense to people who don't want to think. I mean, it's a very simple explanation. You know, everything that you don't like in the world is the result of some intelligent agency acting against you. It's no different than, you know, you're being tested by God, or it's the devil doing it. Mm-hmm. Except it's more realistic, because at least, you know, I mean, the Illuminati is supposed to be made up of humans, at least, and it's not something supernatural.
Not necessarily.
No, like sometimes it is, yeah.
So somebody asked
the same irrational reasoning that leads to it.
Somebody asked me the question if I've ever read any of David Icke's books. I haven't read any one from cover to cover, but I'm familiar with his work. The Biggest Secret, It's a Tough Game, It Doesn't Have to Be Like This. I'm familiar with his work. I just haven't read any of his books cover to cover.
I have never looked at him at all. I've just looked into what the conspiracy theory is about, and I just facepalm.
It's just the people who are parroting. It's just the people who are parroting what he's saying that you sort of just understand what it is his points are because they say so.
Sort of. I mean, considering that I was looking at so many different conspiracy theories, I was trying to do something more general rather than look at very specific ones. The only ones I looked at specifically were 9/11 and the moon hoax.
Guys, I just want to say, again, remind you guys, if you can, please do donate. Links below. Anything you can give, no donation is too small. Anything you give would be really appreciated. Thank you, guys.
I'm going to drop out here for a bit because I host the next hour as well. I'm going to go ahead and let you two converse for a little bit because we only have about like 5 more minutes left on this. I host the next hour with Skeptical Heretic and Wisdom in Nature 7. So, yeah. I'll see everybody else in the next hour.
Okay, see you, Lundi. I'm looking forward to that hour. I hope to learn a lot.
Yeah, that could get interesting. I'm such a pathetic armchair philosopher. I could certainly use.
Yeah, my philosophy is rather bad. That's why I try to tend not to talk about it a lot.
I think it's interesting though. So I like talking about it, but I feel like I'm just making points that well, everyone has already made.
Same.
I just don't know about it.
When I was in Canada for 3 months of my work experience, my roommate.
Hang on. There's a guy in the chat room saying there's evidence for 9/11 being a government conspiracy. Oh, holy crap! No, there isn't. Have you looked at it? I actually have. I've looked at the peer-reviewed stuff.
Yeah,
it's pathetic.
I think you must be pretty blind to see two jet engines fly smack or full speed into a building and wonder, oh, how did that building collapse? Just no.
Well, yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous.
To say the least. And kind of insulting when you're trying to, I don't know, mentally masturbate over something that quite recently, 10 years ago, where 3,000 people lost their life. I think that's kind of annoying, to say the least. Just gets on my tits.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen pretty much all the videos about it, Nick. If you can add something new, I'd be happy to have a look at it, but I think I've seen pretty much all of it, and it's pathetic. Because it all comes down to, I'm not going to listen to anything the peer-reviewed science actually says, because they're part of the conspiracy. And, well, then we're done.
Yeah, pretty much. That conspiracy always goes back to, the peer review is obviously biased. No. I'm sorry, but no. And anyone that has been, it's in a peer review journal. That peer review journal is crap, basically. It's not really peer review. It's more like, that's it. I don't want to get too vulgar, but a circles jerk, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. There are these sort of fake peer-reviewed stuff where you have this very closed circle of people who all agree, and
it's
they
like
review each other's work. Yeah, exactly. Okay, I think we're going to have to leave it at that because we're being told to wrap it up.
Okay.
Donate.
Please donate. Link in the description. Keep on pointing down. Not on my crotch, but in the playground. Yeah, so I've been told it's called that. Never mind. And yeah, donate. And a thank you to Lundi. Fortunately, Michael Shermer couldn't make it, but we're
really sorry about that.
Sorry about that, but it's the live show curse. And thank you to Martymer as well for coming in and
no problem.
I enjoyed this hour. It was a really good discussion. And thank you guys for listening in and donating to those who have. Thank you.